Hello, and thank you once again. My name is Darren, and I am playing Arkham Horror the Living card game in Lackey. So thus far, I have decided to not do one of the side quests with this version of Ashcan. I think I've proven up to this point that this Ashcan deck is really good, and at this point, I kind of just wanted to move on. Um, Especially because I have real concerns about this particular scenario, which I will explain before I get started. I don't remember how many XP I got last time. I haven't made any changes to my deck, so if I were to play uh, a one of the side quests, it would be I would use that XP to do so. Um, just as a reminder about my deck, because I did lose Pete Silvestri to a kidnapped situation in Blood on the Altar. I When I lost him, I was able to trade in another card. So I just put in Madame Lebranche. However, Madame Lebranche hasn't been implemented, so I am running Dig Deep as a copy of Madame Lebranche. I also failed that scenario. I also failed Blood on the Altar, yes, and ended up with one physical trauma as well. So we are at the point of oh boy, it doesn't have the title of this card on the or this scenario on the card. Where Doom Awaits? Yes. I believe that's the title of it. So this is probably one of the harder ones because the way that it works out. But again, I'll get to that in a moment. We are playing on standard difficulty. The skull is a -1, a -3 instead if you're in an altered location. The cultist is reveal another token, cancel the effects and icons of each skill card committed to this test. The tablet is a -2, a -4 instead if it is agenda 2, and I do have a tablet. I don't have an Elder Thing, but it would be a -X. You discard the top two cards of your deck, and an X is the total printed cost of those discarded cards. That's actually pretty decent, or not bad with this particular deck because there's very little stuff that costs resources in the deck. So that would primarily, I'd almost bet that would end up being 0 90% of the time. Um, one note that as well, I did do very well in the last scenario, so I don't start with any doom. I was able to exterminate both of the brood of Yogg-Sothoth that came out or came at me. I only had two to deal with, so that was good. Um, Here's my concern about this particular scenario. So we'll get into that a little bit. So these locations, the base of the hill, and ascending path have similar issues in that they are a three shroud with zero clues. It is the base of a hill is connected to each copy of diverging path. Of course, there's no diverging paths out yet. As an action, you use the action and investigate ability on this card. So you cannot use Duke for this. Duke is his own exhaust Duke and investigate. You can use Duke if you're investigating a location that you're trying to get clues off of, but you're trying to use this investigate action here. So this is going to be versus a three shroud to Ashcan's kind of sad 2 intellect. So that could be tough if I had a magnifying glass out. Now that boost or that bonus does apply, but you can't use Duke for this. It's an investigate action. If you succeed, instead of discovering clues, put a random set aside diverging path into play, limit once per round. It also, pardon me, it also has the action resigned. This is more than I signed. You can resign. This is more than I signed up for. So let's go ahead and read our agenda. Agenda 1A, calling forth the old ones. As you approach Sentinel Hill, you hear ancient Latin rites bellowed across the night. The time for action has come. If you cannot stop the sorcerers in Dunwich, who knows what terrors they might unleash upon the world. Act 1A, The Path to the Hill. A vibrant, arcane energy fills the air with a bone-rattling chill. The energy swirls along the crushed trail before you and seeps down several other paths before disappearing. Objective. When the investigators have collected the requisite number of clues, they must immediately spin them to advance. So this is another one that it's a two clue threshold. As soon as I have those 2 clues, they have to be spent immediately. Of course, as usual, I have not mulliganed yet. I start off with a say your prayers, a run for your life, a perception, a guts, and an overpower. So I think I'm going to ditch everything but that perception because I am going to need to be able to boost Ashcan's intellect as much as I can. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So I drew up into an unexpected courage, a fight or flight, an overpower, and a run for your life. So not as good as I would like. I would have really liked to have, well, because that's changed. I would have really liked to have had some more means of getting some more diverging paths out. Now this is a once per round to be able to get a diverging path, so that's another thing to keep in mind. You can't do it twice in a round. So let's get started. We're going to get started with our investigator phase. So we are going to go ahead and investigate. I think I'll throw my perception. So that gives me a 4 to 3. And that's going to be it. 4 to 3. I did add a -5 to the chaos bag per the setup instructions as well. Chaos bag, that's the auto fail. That's a time I did not want to see that because I would have loved to have had that draw. Right, second action, we're going to do it again, except this time we're going to put in an unexpected courage. Again, 4 to 3, chaos bag. It's -3, that's a fail. This is what I was a little bit of afraid of. I guess I will draw a card. As a note, you cannot move to the ascending path. The path leading forward up the hill is mashed. You cannot move into the ascending path. Things will tell you when you can. Yeah, I guess I'll just draw a card as my... Hey, there we go. I'm actually going to play that as my final act, or because it's free, or it's a fast action. Alright, we come to the enemy phase. There are currently no enemies in play. We come to the upkeep phase where we draw a card and gain a resource. We go to the mythos phase where we'll add a doom to the agenda. And we'll draw an encounter card. Encounter card is a Wizard of Yog-Sothoth. Wizard of Yog-Sothoth is a 4 combat, 3 health, 3 agility. He is humanoid and sorcerer. He has the prey keyword, least cards in hand. He has the hunter keyword. Forced when the engaged investigator draws a hex or pact card, Wizard of Yog-Sothoth attacks that investigator. So since I drew him, he will just go ahead and engage with me. So we come back to the investigator phase. I guess I'm going to fight this guy. So I'm going to use the ability on Duke to fight. So this is it's a base of 4. His combat is 4. I'm going to toss an overpower to it. So that gives me a 6 to 4, and then I'm going to put two resources towards that. So I'm a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 to 4, 8 to 4. Chaos bag, that's a -2, that's a pass. So I get a draw card from the overpower that I threw, and he takes 2 damage. Not doom. I think I'm going to use the ability on Ashcan to pitch a run for your life to Ready Duke. Duke's going to do this again, so I'm a 4 4 to 4. I'm going to, since I don't have anything else to pitch, I'm going to go ahead and use Scrapper again to pump it 2. So I'm a 6 to 4. 6 to 4 Chaos Bag. That is a -4, which is a fail. That would have been 2. Does he have Retaliate? He does not have Retaliate. 3. I have 3. I guess I will. Punching is going to be almost impossible now because that's 2 to 4. I'm going to just try to evade this guy. I'm a 3 to 3. I'm going to use my last resource. I'm a 4 to 3. Cast bag. That's a skull -1. I'm not at an altered location, so that's a -1. That's actually a pass, so he is evaded. That's my turn. The enemy phase, there are currently no engaged enemies. The upkeep phase, whoops. Everything readies. I draw a card. Boo. And gain a resource. Mythos phase, we'll add a doom to the agenda. And we'll draw our next encounter card. This is not fun. Another enemy, the Avian Thrall. It is a 5 combat, 4 health, 3 agility, creature, monster, abomination, prey, lowest intellect. It has the hunter keyword. While Avian Thrall is being attacked using a ranged firearm or spell asset, it gets a -3 fight. And it does 1 damage and 1 horror. Well, we come back to the investigator phase. We're going to use the ability on Duke to fight the Wizard of Yogg-Sothoth. So I'm a 4 versus 4. I'm going to pump up the jam with my Scrapper. So I'm a 5 versus 4. Come on, Chaos Bag. That's just reveal another token. I've not committed any cards, so it's still a 5 versus 4. Chaos Bag. Oops, I exactly need to do that. That's the tablet. That's a -2. That means I fail. I'm going to pitch a Say Your Prayers to Ready Duke. I'm going to attack him again for, this time it's just a 4 to 4. That's what I have to do, I guess. That's a 0. Well, that at least hits him for 2 damage, so he would go to my victory display. I've got one more action. I'm going to actually take an attack of opportunity here. So I'm going to investigate. So I will discard this. So I take a damage and a horror. I'm going to put the damage here. I'm going to take the horror. And I'm going to investigate at a... so I've discarded my perception. So that gives me a +2. So I'm 5 to 3. 5 to 3. Cast bag. This is a 5 to 3. That's a skull. That's a -1. Yep, -1. So now I get to put out a diverging path. I have the diverging paths here in my second encounter deck, so I'm just going to do that. Encounter 2, and whoops. Do I have my altered paths there? I thought I had diverging paths. Well, phooey. That's not that hard to change, though. Oh, I see what I did. Sorry about this. Just one quick piece. I apologize again. Alright, so let's do encounter 2. This will be my diverging path. So I fought twice and I investigated once. Enemy phase. I'll take a damage and a horror that I will just take both of those. Damage. Horror. Now I can use my those desperate cards if need be. Upkeep. Draw a card. Ooh, no, that's bad. That's not good. Keep draw, gain a resource. Mythos phase, we'll add a Doom. And we will draw an encounter card. That's a Frozen in Fear. This is going downhill pretty fast here, guys. I'm going to be first to admit. Alright, well, we'll come to the investigation phase. So, I'm going to try to evade this thrall. It's going to take 2 actions because the Frozen in Fear, it is a terror. It has a revelation effect. Put Frozen in Fear into play in your threat area. The first time you perform one of the following actions, move, fight, or evade each round, it costs an additional action. At the end of your turn, test willpower. It's a 3 test. If you succeed, you can discard Frozen in Fear. So I'm going to try to evade him. I'm going to play Fight or Flight, which is fast. Play only during your turn. Until the end of the turn, you get plus X combat and plus X agility, where X is the amount of horror on you. Yeah, so this is a 2, so I'm a 3 for 5. 5 to 3 on an agility test. I'm going to leave this out just till the end of this round, just so I make sure I don't forget it. Cast Bag, that's a 0. That's good. So that took 2 actions. Boy, part of me wonders. I kind of want to ready Duke, but I don't want to get rid of my guts because I want to be able to get rid of Frozen in Fear. So I could ready Duke. No, I can't because of Wrecked by Nightmares. Assets you control cannot ready. So I'll just draw a card as my final action. Oh, that might be helpful. Because I can't use the 2 actions to get rid of this because I only have 1 action left. So this goes to my discard pile so I don't forget. Now I will test to get rid of Frozen in Fear. I'm going to discard my guts. So I'm a 4, 5, 6. 6 to 3 Chaos Bag. Don't be cruel. I'm going to go by the Grim rule, and I cannot ready Duke, but I do get rid of this. Enemy phase, there are currently no readied enemies. Upkeep phase, we will draw a card. I should have drawn a card for Guts. Or was that this draw? I think that was this draw. Or is that my upkeep draw? I think that was my upkeep draw. I'm going to draw one. If I'm wrong, somebody pointed out. That's going to be helpful too. All right. Upkeep phase. He readies and re-engages me. Mythos phase, we add a Doom. And we draw an encounter card. Oh boy, howdy. Obscuring Fog. It is a hazard. It is revelation. Attached to your location. Limit 1 per location. Attached location gets +2 Shroud. Forced after the attached location is successfully investigated. You discard Obscuring Fog. So that could be trouble. Spoiler alert. I know you're probably watching this, so you know how this goes at this point. But if you resign or fail or what have you, the game ends here. You cannot move forward. So right now, about the only way I'm going to be able to get this location reopen. I mean, it kind of depends on what happens here. Is if I get that desperate skill that allows me to that gives me 4 book icons. So we'll see. All right, investigator phase. Alrighty. Do I think I want to punch this guy once? Or do I just want to evade him, then use 2 actions to get rid of this so I can do that next turn? This is a 3-3. Kind of think I got a little lucky last round. I did not gain a resource. I think I'm going to try to evade him again. So this is a 4-3. Cast bag. Oh, drat. Well, there went that. 5, 2, 3. Well, I can only get to 5. So I've looked into this as well. I'm going to use this double action. Because it only initiates 1 attack of opportunity to get rid of Racked by Nightmares. So I'm going to take the damage and put the horror on Duke. Because that's costing me too much. So that's my turn. Enemy phase. He's going to do another damage in horror. I'll take the damage again. I'll put not Doom. Go ahead and put the horror on Duke. Upkeep phase. Draw a card. And gain a resource. That's my Madame Lebranche proxy. She has 2 health and 2 sanity, as an FYI, just in case you don't know. Mythos phase, we'll add a Doom to the agenda. And we'll draw an encounter card. That's a Beyond the Veil. It's a Hex. It has Surge, Revelation, but Beyond the Veil. Into play in your threat area if there is no copy of Beyond the Veil in your threat area. Forced if your deck has no cards in it, take 10 damage and discard Beyond the Veil. Well, at this point, if my deck runs out of cards, it's game over. And it has Surge and Counter Card. That's another Beyond the Veil. You only have 1 as an FYI. Oh boy. Oh well, hey, at least he goes the furthest location from me. Lupine Thrall. It has a combat of 4, a health of 3, and agility of 4. It is traded with creature, monster, and abomination. It spawns at the furthest location from you, Its prey is the lowest agility, and it has the hunter and retaliate keywords, and it does 1 health and 1 damage. Or 1 health and 1 sanity. Alrighty, investigator phase. I'm going to use the ability on Duke to attack this guy. So I'm a 4 to 5. I'm going to commit an overpower. So I'm a 6 to 5. Madame Lebranche, I double checked this last time, is a question mark, but I have forgotten. So we're going to just do a quick double check on ArkhamDB. Madame. I should know this. Oh, nope, she's a book icon. So this is going to be a 6 to 5. I'm rethinking this. 6. Because if I toss a card to stand him and do it again, I'm only going to be able to, if I put this, yeah, I'm going to have to go 6 to 5. I'm going to have to. Chaos Bag. That's the old, lovely Elder symbol. So I get a Ready Duke, and he takes 2 damage. That was much needed thing to happen. Alright, we're going to use Duke again. So this is, right now this is a 4. I hate to do it, but I'm going to discard a Vicious Blow and spend a resource, making myself 6 to 5 again. So it's 4, 5 for the Vicious Blow and 6 from the Scrapper. 6 to 5, Chaos Bag. That's a -1, that's a success. I kill the Avian Thrall. That was much needed. Alright, so I've attacked twice, and I know how dangerous it is to move. 3, 4, 5, so I'm a 3. Boy, this is gonna be so hard. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and move to this diverging path. Using our last action, reveal and add some clues. Slaughtered Woods. It is a 2-shroud location with 1 clue per investigator. It is forced after you reveal Slaughtered Woods, take 2 horror if you have no actions remaining. I have no actions remaining. I'm gonna take 2 horror. 1 horror there. And 1 horror there. This is not going very well. Okay, well now I can at least use Duke to investigate this. Alright. You know what? I could potentially use Duke to investigate this. Not for a clue, just to investigate it, not using this ability to get rid of this. That might actually be a solution. Because you can investigate a location with no clues on it, you just don't get any clues. So that would at least maybe be a little bit more potential. So that's something to think about next turn. So enemy phase, the Lupine Thrall moves. Now I have to see if this is connected. So it's a plus. That is not, so I have some time. Alright. Upkeep phase. We'll draw a card. Gain a resource. Mythos phase. We'll add a Doom to the agenda. And we'll draw an encounter card. That's a rotting remains. So this is a willpower test of 3. So I am a 4 to 3. I'm going to go ahead and pitch a Say Your Prayers, making it 8 to 3. Chaos Bag. That is a -1. Yep, -1. So I passed that. All right. Investigator phase. I am going to just investigate this, I think. So I'm a 2, 3 to 2. Chaos Bag. That's a -1. So I get that clue. I'm going to use the ability on Duke to investigate and move. So I'm going to investigate here for a 4, 5 to 5. 5 to 5. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. 5 to 5. Chaos Bag. That's -1. I'm about to lose Duke, aren't I? Hold up, we're going to back up for a second. We're rewinding. We're not going to do that. Because Lupine Thrall is going to come in and do a damage and a horror. And I can't take another horror. So what I'm going to do, my second action instead is going to be to gain a resource and play Madame Lebranche. And I'm going to use the free action on Madame Lebranche to gain a resource. Enemy phase. I verified earlier these two locations are not connected, so the Lupine Thrall will move here. We'll come to the upkeep phase where I will draw a card and gain a resource. Mythos phase will add a doom to the agenda, and we'll draw an encounter card. That's a devotee of the key. He is a humanoid sorcerer. He has a combat of 3, a health of 3, and an agility of 3. He spawns at the base of the hill, and forced at the end of the enemy phase, he moves once towards Sentinel Peak. If devotee of the key is already at Sentinel Peak, discard it and add 2 doom to the current agenda instead. And he does 1 damage and 1 horror. Well, I really didn't want another enemy at that location. Okay, we're going to come to the investigator phase. How many health does he have? 3. How many health does he have? 3. I wish I didn't have to waste that vicious blow. Sorry, I know that me not talking is terribly interesting, but I'm trying to decide. I mean, at this point, I can wait for the Lupine Thrall to come to me. Because I can put the damage and horror on Madame Lebranche. And because I kind of don't want the devotee of the key to be to be here when I go up there to get, when I go up here, because I do need to do something about this eventually. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an action to draw a card. I'm going to use an action to draw a card. And I'm going to use an action to draw a card. I knew that was going to happen. Discard all your resources. So, bloop. That's actually fine. I'll use the, after that I'll use the ability on Madame Labranche, because it's a fast action to gain a resource. Enemy phase. The Lupine Thrall will move to me and attack. I'll put the damage on horror on Madame Labranche. At the end of the enemy phase, he will move to here. We come to the upkeep phase where I will draw a card and gain a resource. Mythos phase will add a doom to the agenda. And we'll draw an encounter card. That is Ancient Evils Revelation. Place 1 doom on the current agenda. This effect can cause the current agenda to advance. This is 9 out of 12. Oops. Okay. We come back to the investigator phase. Alright. We will use the ability on Duke to attack the Lupine Thrall. So that is a 4/4. I'm going to pitch my Unexpected Courage, making it a 6/4 Chaos Bag. That's the -5. He has Retaliate. Put the damage. Wait. That was a 6/4, right? So that was a -5. Oh. I was seeing if Lucky would have given me enough to actually pass that, but it would not. So Madame Labranche, you're going to take that damage. I'm going to pitch a run for your life to Ready Duke. Duke again. 4/4. I'm going to discard a resource, making it 5/4. I kind of want to have Lucky in my back pocket here. So 5/4. Come on, Chaos Bag. Don't hurt me. That's a -1, so that works. Takes 2 damage. Now I'm going to fight him again, except this time I'm a 2. So 4, 6/4. 6/4, Chaos Bag. What do you got to say about that? 6/4. No. Yep, I think that's going to be game, guys. Yep, because I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose Duke. We'll play. Yep, I'm going to lose Duke because of Retaliate, and then during the enemy phase, he's going to do a damage and a horror, and that's going to kill me. So I was doing pretty good. The 2 enemies right there at the beginning really put the hurting on me, and my other fear of this not being able to use Duke to get out these locations, I knew was gonna hurt me. That time that I made this move on that last action, I potentially shouldn't have done that. I should have maybe waited, but aren't really a lot of enemies in this deck, and the encounter deck is fairly large. I'm kind of surprised to have seen. Oh, there's another devotee of the key. But look, I mean, look at how far we would have gone until we would have seen another enemy. But we were really struggling with, and then this came up. There's a thing that mixes them up. Uh, I'm not saying it right off the top of my head, but there's one of these um, that allows you to turn these locations upside down, shuffle them, and redistribute them. That would have potentially worked because I would have, but yeah, that would have taken too long. Yeah, this was tough. This is a tough one for Ashcan because of the inability to use Duke to get out those divergent paths and then the altered paths here. Um, so I had a feeling this would happen. So that's game over for Ashcan Pete. So I'm probably not going to play for a couple of days. I've got a pretty busy weekend ahead of me. So probably won't play for a couple of days. I'm thinking about potentially putting out a video on my thoughts of the most recent player cards and the most recent pack. So maybe keep an eye out for that. I may put that out here in the next couple days. But I am taking suggestions on my next playthrough, on my next solo playthrough. So if there's, pardon me, a particular investigator that you'd really like to see played, let me know. If there's a deck you'd like to see me play with that investigator, send me that deck list. I will definitely put it into consideration. Um, as a note, I am putting off playing Carcosa until it is completely out. That is in real life, not necessarily in Lackey, but the whole cycle has been completed before I play it in a playthrough, in a video playthrough. So my next Gator, I will probably do. I'm thinking I may go back and do the core. I think it's fun enough and it's easy enough and quick enough that I might do an investigator in core, and then depending on how that investigator does, I may play them with their base uh, deck list in Dunwich as well. So yeah, let me know if you have an investigator you'd really like to see me play, and if you have a deck list for that investigator, please let me know. Um, I did enjoy my playthrough with Ashcan. I hope that you've enjoyed watching. I hope, pardon me, that I haven't made any too many terrible mistakes. If there are things that you've seen throughout the videos, again, don't hesitate to let me know. Um, it, if you've liked what you've seen, give me a thumbs up, make a comment. I love discussing this game. I'd love to chat more about it. So yeah, get in contact with me. I can talk about this game till I'm blue in the face. So yeah, contact me if you would like to talk about this game some more. I'd love to chat with you. And you can find me around most of the places as Jacques Steampunk. I know I'm on the Reddits. I'm in the Facebook group. I believe I'm just as my name in the Facebook group, Darren. On the Discord server, I'm Jacques, and of course my videos. You can watch me there. But until next time, thank you and have a great day.